Maximus Analysis here for April 21st, 2016. And before I start anything, I want to just say rest in peace to one of the greatest musical performers and musical minds that ever lived. Prince died today at the age of 57, I believe. And there's no details of it, but again, I was a huge fan of his work for decades, and just wanted to put that out there. All right, so ES right now, we see that we have it held this 2082 level, and sometimes you could break it down on the more aggressive time frames to kind of see where things are going, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to go to a 60-minute from this daily, and you can see the 60-minute, it layered right back to the April 14th highs, and is actually now popping up a little bit. So this is the hourly, and what we want to see on this hourly is them to break above another level that I posted, which is the 2393.50 area. So again, we knew it was going to well, we didn't know it was going to stop, but again, I had a level there that coincided with this previous high. So we'll continue to watch where it goes from here. You can see kind of pulling a little bit. Again, it's the close, so there's going to be a lot going on, and we'll see exactly what happens. But had that level, and one of the levels, again, going back to the daily for the ES, that we want to look at is if they're going to break 2070. Now, 2070 is a break of that level is no big deal. That puts it right here with the weekly highs around there. Daily high pivot right back of the 4th. What we don't want to see is them get back into the 2059.50 area. That's my area that I'm like, all right, what's going on? Because you're well below this we want them to layer in it and kind of stay above that. So we'll continue to watch for this ES. Again, everybody wants to call the top. I'm not going to do that. I just want to see if they're going to break some previous levels that we've had. So we keep using these levels to give us some level of comfort or to the flexibility to say, okay, it holds this level, it can touch it, but if they immediately reverse off of it, then the bulls are still winning intraday. And again, we'll continue to look at this weekly chart as well for the ES and see where it closes. So right now we don't have much volume. Remember, tomorrow's Friday. So again, we need to at least advance some of this volume versus getting back in there. And we're going to see how they're going to make, if they're going to break this week's low, which is the most important thing. It's just 2058.50. Okay, and that coincides with 2059.50 area. So we'll continue to watch that. We'll see what tomorrow's will bring. Now the NQ again, we want them to just hold this 44.89 and a half area. Now we're going to see what happens because Google is reporting after, and what that's going to do for the Nasdaq. So again, we're just looking at that level to hold, which is 44.89.50. Weekly for the NQ, again, indecision right now, but again, the week is not over. We'll see if how much volume they catch up with down here going into tomorrow. Okay, so we don't want them to get back below this level as well, which is the 2059 area, because that brings them back below these lows, which would verify that this would be some type of resistance. Again, breaking last week's low would actually bring in a little bit more. The YM, we want them to hold the 17,750 area. I'm just going to use the weekly for this, just because we'll see how position the candle, but you don't want to get too overly aggressive. You want to see them actually break a week's low. They haven't in a long time, and that's why you just don't want to just say how much longer can they go, because even if you got in here, they still squeezing you because they haven't broken any lows as yet. So we'll continue to watch the volume and continue to look and try to keep as much flexibility on our side as possible. Let's look at CL. So CL is right at the point where we said, all right, 44, hit the target. Now I don't know where it's going to go, but I do know that I wouldn't be going long right here after such a significant move off these lows. So you just kind of just wait. Again, you had the gap down. First, all of it came back up to the target that we spoke about from down here. And that's it. And they have the higher lows. We just don't like, I don't like this. And this is just me. I don't like when I like them to layer previous highs, but I don't want them to barely get over this and start giving this action. So we'll continue to watch. Again, it will be hard to, you could go short, but you know exactly where your stop should be over this 200-day moving average. So let's look at some equity names, and I see that things are moving fairly quickly. So I'm going to check Google right now and see what is going on the intraday time frame, and you can see that it has dumped. So Google is dumping right now, but remember this is intraday action. So I just want to see if they're going to hold the 756 area, which they haven't. So that's another area. But again, this earnings are crazy. You could see this, and there's people on the put side are like, yeah, this is awesome. And that could be 800 tomorrow. So we're going to see where it opens tomorrow. But they're breaking some significant levels right now. But again, it's all about where they open tomorrow, because you see the wick on this. Who knows where it could be by the end of this. I'm going to come back to this at the end of this video, and we'll see where it is. It's kind of crazy, but again, we want to see them what they're going to do. But they have missed. Facebook. Again, Facebook is continuing to move up, lighter volume, but we want to just see them hold this 108.27 on any type of pullback. Again, the weekly price action is bullish. It's just, this is so sloppy. It's just a sloppy pattern, and that's it. It's fine to be sloppy, but you still have to say that the bull pivots, which would include here, 1, 2, are still holding. So I'm not going to fight the price. I'm just going to say that, you know, it just looks real clumsy. So if it breaks down, you do something else. Let's say just use a weekly time frame. Say if it breaks this, you actually make this a little bit better. We'll watch it. Again, it's not the perfect wedge, but we'll continue to watch where it's going to break down. And that's Facebook on the weekly. Let's look at Priceline. So Priceline down $10, but just watching to see if they hold this 1300 level on the pullback. And again, the weekly is another one that is just, it was great ramping up, but just this is really corny. So I don't know where it's going to go, and that's fine. We just got to continue to look at that. IBB. We see we had a pretty nice move up on some volume, but I'm watching this weekly. Again, they need to hold this 272 level, 273 level. Weekly, however, again, this is where time frames go into things, is that this just looks like a retracement back up to these levels. So if we did this and put, you know, a little box right here, they're getting to the end of this box. So we want to see what the volume looks like at the end of this, because this is not good volume right now. So that's why you need to look at both sides, because there's some people going long right now. And if this was the daily time frame, would you go long right now? Probably not, because you'd say, listen, it's already up. You know, you'd have a 3-day rule or something like that. Treat the times the same. And go from there. So that's just lessons. But let's look back at Google, since that's more entertaining. Where are we? Okay, long wick. We'll see exactly where this closes. But again, at 734, 737. Let's look at what the weekly looks like now. 737 is, let's go right, 737. Yeah, that's a significant, that's going to be a significant red bar when it opens, if it opens at this level. So think of all of this like this. And this is the second time that they've gone. And this might not be the best head and shoulders, but you're going to have two huge bearish bars after 10 weeks up, and it hasn't broken. So think of this like this. If you could visualize this. That's what this bar is going to look like if it opens where it does right now. So just kind of visualize that and understand what we're looking at in regards to Google, because this is what the bar is going to look like for now. So that's not a bullish bar, especially with this grind up, so which we saw in the volume. So again, I don't like to play earnings, but you can see that we might have some more downside potential coming in for this. And with that being said, now we're coming back to test on the ES. Sorry this is going over time, but I feel this is very important. We got the ES testing coming back where it was up before. Now you see that this candle is open, so we have the higher lows. Next week's 258 level is going to be a critical point. So let's keep both sides of the fence going, and we have our levels I discussed earlier in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys. The channel is growing, and it's not growing to the pace of others, but I don't care. I want to put quality information in front of people, no matter what your experience level is. I feel that you can benefit from hearing a non-biased TV pundit give you good information. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.